Okay, so we are, what is today? December 21st.
21st.
All right, our team call. Let's go ahead and get our screen share up. We are going to talk about effectively signing coaches. So let's get on here and let me find that part of my screen here. Here we are. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, effectively signing coaches. So this is what we're going to discuss, and a lot of it is really within ourselves and things that we need to do within ourselves, which is going to help us effectively sign a coach. This isn't a step-by-step like do 1, 2, and 3 and you'll definitely sign the coach. This is more inner of what we need to change within ourselves. But before we do that, I wanted to give a big hooray for our rock stars so far for the month of December.
Woohoo!
Yeah, look at all those names and numbers up there. Even my hubby's name's up there this time.
Yay.
And we have a rank advancement. Marlene went Emerald, so congratulations on going Emerald. That's awesome. She is Tara's very active coach. She's doing great in the business. Her posts are awesome. She has great ways of sharing her journey. So great job, everybody. And we have people lost. Amy, I had your name up there. I don't know where it went. Don't you have Success Club too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm too.
All right. Well, it was up there. I don't know what happened.
That's fine. Just make me push harder. It's okay.
Exactly. It's not there, so get on there. It's there. Amy has Success Club too. I really don't know what happened to it. Okay, so let's get on this one. All right. So this, like I was telling the girls before we started, I got from Scotty Hobbs. Did some chatting with him on some team trainings and stuff like that. So he sent me this of a training that he did. And I really, really loved it. So that's why I wanted to go work on this one with you guys tonight. So in order to effectively sign coaches, we first have to have the belief of these 3 things. Number 1 being yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you either. If you don't believe that you can do it and you don't believe that you can help somebody, they're not going to have the confidence in you for you to help them. So you have to have the belief in yourself. You also have to have the belief in the products. If you're not drinking Shakeology daily, if you're not doing the workouts daily, you don't believe that the Beachbody products work. So if you don't have that belief in them working, you're not going to be able to have somebody that wants to join your team or somebody that even wants to be your challenger if they don't see that you're doing it on your own. And you also need to have the belief in the Beachbody coaching opportunity. You need to know that it works. You need to believe and you need to portray that out because believe it or not, and Amy and I have talked about this a few times, that even though you don't think they're realizing, they realize the difference. Even though it's behind a computer screen, they can realize the difference in if you're completely positive, if you're having a bad day, they can tell. And you could feel the difference because the communication isn't coming back on your news feed. People aren't commenting or liking your posts as much. So it's all belief and positivity and getting this done. And I can tell you right now that the inviting process will not work without these 3 things. And it has to be all of them, not just believing in yourself and not the rest. Because if you don't believe in all of it and it all does not come together, the inviting process is going to be a slam right down the drain for you. It's not going to work. So you have to work on this first. And if you're just starting out as a coach, work on this first before you start inviting people. It's okay to work on you first and start sharing your journey because doing that, they're going to come to you. You're not going to have to go to most of them. A lot of them are going to come to you. They're going to see the difference in you and they're going to want to know what you're doing because they're going to want to be a part of it. And that's because you're believing in yourself, you're believing in the products, and you're believing in the coaching opportunity. So you have to make sure of that. And you really have to concentrate on your why, and you need to dig deep on your why. So if you have not done that purpose worksheet yet that we had posted, make sure you do that. Because my why wasn't really solidified, and I really didn't know 100% of what my why was until we did that at the winter retreat. And that really opened up my eyes a lot to what my purpose and why really is in the business. So make sure you do that worksheet. Okay. This is a part that I know a lot of people have trouble with. Another reason why I wanted to talk about this call. You're having trouble explaining the business to others. We get really afraid we don't want to word vomit on them. We don't want to say too much or anything like that. So things that you need to keep in mind when you're trying to explain it is you need to think of what they're struggling. Maybe they're going paycheck to paycheck. So you need to visualize that person or visualize yourself like me. the way I explain it to people is I remember where I was before I started the business. I lived paycheck to paycheck. I would, how do you say it, steal from Rob to pay Paul or pay Peter or however the saying is. That was me. I was like, okay, well, I won't pay the FPL bill this paycheck because I can pay it 5 days late if I pay it on my next paycheck because I have to pay the mortgage. The mortgage is overdue. That was how I lived before Beachbody. So you have to kind of like remember those things and think of the people that are living paycheck to paycheck. Think of their struggles. What are they struggling about? Maybe visualize. Everything is visualizing. If anybody's listened to any of Scotty Hobbs' videos or talked to him, everything is visualizing. Visualize yourself at the top. Visualize that person that's struggling paycheck to paycheck, just making an extra $50 a week, how that would change their life. And then think about the $200 to $400 a week, how that would change their life. So you have to visualize those things when you're getting ready to explain the business to them. Because once you can visualize a solution for them, it's easier for you to explain the business, because to each person you talk the business to, the explanation is going to be a little bit different, because you're going to explain it to how it's going to help them and how it's going to be towards them. So you don't need to know everything about the business. You just need to know how to get them plugged in, which is knowing how the business will benefit them. You want to get them into the trainings and come to me for help, Amy for help, whoever your upline is, ask for help. That's what we're here for, to completely help you. But again, you just need to believe and be the best encourager that you can be. Because in this business, that's what we are. We're encouragers. We want to lift the people up. That's why we want to help them. And what I have in bold right there is so true. Your income will be a direct reflection of the lives you are willing to change. Don't be pushy about it, but just you have to know who you're talking to, what their struggles are in order to be able to explain everything to them. This is a great way if somebody says, well, what is coaching? Here's an explanation right there on the bottom. Coaching is a way to get in the best shape of your life while learning how to make extra money to pay for the products. Boom. So if somebody's like, what's coaching? That is a great definition of coaching. Some people, when they hear the word coaching, they think they have to be a personal trainer. Like they think they have to know the proper form and have to know how to do all of these workouts. So it scares them. That word scares them. So that's how I explain coaching to people. It's just a way to get in the best shape, way for me to get in the best shape. And I'm learning how to make extra money. And my products, my products are free. And then I get extra money on top of that. So you can't beat it. So that's my way of explaining coaching to people. But again, make sure you know your audience, know who you're talking to, and know what their struggles are. Let's see. I had some notes here. Yeah, don't give them too much information at one time. You want to give them a little bit. It's just like breadcrumbs. You give them a little bit, let them start there, and then when you know that they've gotten to that point and they've absorbed all the information they can absorb, then you're going to go and give them the next step. So you have somebody that wants to be a coach, you start them off learning what everything is before you start saying about diamond and emerald and all this other stuff, because it's too confusing. Let them know the basics first. Okay, sharing Beachbody. Let's see. I know I had notes on here. Okay. All right, so sharing. It's not talking to anybody about how much money you make. It's really, like I said on the last slide, it's about getting in the best shape of their life, changing their health, paying for products, making some extra money as the time goes on. So I always share my story on when I first started. I honestly just wanted my Shakeology free, so I was just looking for 3 people. Then after I found those 3 people, I'm like, okay, well now I got that for free. Now I want more. Let's get my nails done. I've always wanted to make sure I can get my nails done every 2 weeks. So I want to do that. Then it was that. So I share that with people, because just like when you watch infomercials, your first reaction is, yeah, okay, that's Photoshop. But when you hear these stories from a real person, and a lot of times from a family member or a friend that you've known for years, then you're like, wow, okay, this stuff's for real. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not that fake crap. It's for real. So make sure you're sharing your actual story. And if you don't have an actual story, but your upline or a close friend of yours that is a coach has a story, share their story. Like share Jennifer Greenberg's story. They were in bankruptcy when she started all of this. Like Scotty Hobbs, he was living less than paycheck to paycheck. And now he's able to retire his dad and build a home for his in-laws. And, it's just amazing the things that he can do now. So you can share their stories. That's why they put their stories on YouTube and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to share them if they're going to help you. And then, once everything goes, then you expand that person's vision as they step forward. But like I said before, you don't want to give them everything at one time. But I love this saying right here: begin to eliminate their path a little further when they reach that spot. It's almost like the headlights on a car. It doesn't go too far ahead. It just gives you enough vision ahead to get to where you need to go. And then from there, it gives you a little bit more vision ahead. So you don't want to, light up the whole path for them. Light it a little bit at a time so they're not overwhelmed. You don't want to be one of those coaches that are out there completely bragging on, I make this much money and this, that, and the other. By doing that, all you're going to do is sign a coach that within 90 days will be done, because they're going to give the business about 90 days and it's not going to do what it's doing for you in the 90 days. And they're going to be like, oh, I'm done. I'm not making the money that you're making, so I'm done. Well, it took so many years to get to where you're making. So it's okay to share, like if you paid off a credit card, thanks to all the money you've been making, Beachbody, stuff like that. But you don't want to be bragging too much, because you're not going to get the quality coaches that you want to get. Okay. All right. This I loved. Perfect dialogue. For when you're talking with somebody and how you would follow through with everything with the dialogue. So of course, at first, you find their deep why. You find out why they're talking to you about this. They want to lose 40 pounds. They want to lose 90 pounds, whatever they're telling you. I just need to tone up, or I really need to get healthy. I've noticed I've been sick a lot more, blah, blah, blah. And I think the vitamins and the shakes will help me, whatever their why is. And then you need to ask them, how will it make them feel when they reach that goal? How will they celebrate when they reach that goal? Because you want to be able to help them vision losing the weight they want and how they're going to celebrate it when that happens. You don't want them to just put a goal out there, just like we do with our coaches. You don't want them to just put a goal out there of, oh, I want to be 1 star. Okay, how's that going to make you feel when you get there? And how are you going to celebrate when you get there? So you want to do the same thing when you're talking to whether challengers, coaches, whoever you're talking to, ask them these questions. The third thing is you're going to give them the brakes. And then all of a sudden, they put the brakes on. And all of a sudden, it's crickets. And either you get excuses back of, oh, I don't have that kind of money. I can't afford that. Maybe next month. Talk to me next month. Or you don't get anything back from them. Or you just get a thumbs up or, a smiley face. And you don't know if that means that they're okay with the price or not. So my thing is, when that happens, I don't want to stop communicating with them, because sometimes they're probably testing you too to see if you're like, oh, well, they're not buying, so forget it. I'm done with them. You want to keep engaged with them and you want to keep talking to them. So at that point, immediately go back to how you or another coach felt at that time. So you need to relate to them. Like for me, it was money for me. I didn't want to start right away. I didn't have that kind of money. So for me, it was the money too. So when I get the money objections, I always say, oh, I totally get how you feel. Because when I first started, this is how I felt. And I can relate to them. It helps their guard come down a little bit. That wall that they built up the second you said money, they're like, oh, great, she just wants me to spend 100 and something bucks. She doesn't really care about what my goal is. No, you want them to know I do care. I want to help you. I want to see you hit that goal. I want to see you get excited. So the next slide I have is like an exact quote on how to handle the objections. Scotty and Jennifer, this is exactly what they write back to somebody. So I'm going to have it on here, but I also have it, I believe I still have it in my Google Docs, so I can copy and paste it and put it maybe in our files tab in our page, or I can even put it as a post in the page and tag it up to the front, the top of the page, so you guys can have it, so you guys can copy, paste it, and save it. But let me get to the next slide so you can see it. But this is verbatim exactly how Scotty and Jennifer handle objections, money objections, really any objections, is right here. You need to show how much you truly care. So like I was saying before, you would say, I know exactly how you feel. It took me a little while to get started as well. I never tried Shakeology either. I wanted to do it so badly, so I knew I needed to do it. Sometimes it's hard for me to share this, but I had to do blah, 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 blah to be able to afford it. In order for me personally to buy my first challenge pack, I had to sell some things on eBay. And it was things sitting around the house. I had an old Coach bag that I hadn't used for like a year. So I was like, you know what, this is something I really want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and sell a few things. And when I've earned enough money to buy it, then I'll buy it. So I share that with people. And sometimes it gives them an idea. They're like, oh, I never even thought of that. I used Craigslist and eBay. So some of the big items that I wasn't going to ship, I posted on Craigslist and sold in order to get started. So I share that. So you share that with them and say, I needed to do blah, 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 and able to afford it. I know you need this change in your life. I know it's important to you. I want you to go home, talk it over with your husband, talk it over with your wife, whomever you're speaking with. I know it's a financial burden right now. I want you to share everything with him that you shared with me today. I want you to tell him how it makes you feel when you reach this goal. And I want you to come up with a plan that'll make it happen. That we can get started. Also offer to speak to their significant other, their husband or their wife. If they have any questions, I'll speak to them. So this is verbatim, like copy paste what Jen and Scotty use. And then at the end, they always put, it's great to be inspired by people like you, have inspired to change, but what I have done, but what I tell you, Samantha, whatever their name is, it's incredible to inspire. It's incredible to inspire somebody else. Jennifer was saying that when she puts that at the end, it really gets them thinking like, yeah, it's nice to be inspired by other people, but it's such a great feeling to be the one that's inspiring them, to hear from them that you totally inspired me to do this. I know all of us coaches have heard that from somebody, so it's a great feeling to hear that. Okay? So you want to plant the seeds that the opportunity's there. Don't make them feel forced. Don't make them feel like it's something they have to do. Like if they don't buy it as a coach, they can't buy it at all. Just plant the seeds. It starts the vision for them that their life can change. It plants a seed to let them know that they have the ability to pay for their own Shakeology and past that. It plants a seed of our coaching monthly get-togethers that we're starting in January that we're going to do every month, which I'm super excited about. So just to know that they have that family community, just planting little seeds like that and telling them things that our team does and telling them things that the business has done for you. Just we're gardeners. We just got to plant the seeds. Let me just get out of here so I can stop the screen share so I can see your faces. Okay, so let me see. I wrote a note here that I wanted to say to you guys. Okay, very, very important. I wrote this note down when I was going through a lot of the paperwork. You honestly have to be emotionally unattached, whether they join you or not. Because I know a lot of times we get emotionally attached and they could probably sense that we might get frustrated or upset when they don't want to join us. So you have to kind of take that emotional attachment a little bit away. But share stories, share your journey, share the journey, like I said, of teammates, and offer them a solution. Offer them a solution of the hard time and the struggle that they are having right now at this time. If they're having a hard time emotionally, just the fact of the personal development. Maybe if they're not ready to be a coach, maybe do a little accountability group with them for personal development and give them a book that might help them and let them gain that trust with you so they can see the person you are that the team knows you are. They don't know you, so you need to let them get to know you. And if they're not ready, don't take it personal. Just still be there for them, still check in with them, still see how they're doing. Send them a Merry Christmas message and still be there for them, because doing all of this that I've just discussed today and being consistent with it, consistent with your exposure, consistent with everything, you will be very, very successful in the business. It's consistency, belief. You need to have both of those in order to make sure that you are building a good, tight coaching business. You want to attract the coaches like yourself. You don't want to attract the coaches that don't want to really be a coach, if that makes any sense. You want to attract quality coaches, not just quantity of coaches. Because you can have 1 million coaches, but if none of them are doing anything, it really isn't doing you any good. You're not getting any Shakeology commission off of them every month because they're signed as a coach. So it's not benefiting you. If you're going to sign a coach, you want to sign a quality coach. So, all right, I am going to stop the recording for now, and then I'll open it up if anybody has any questions. And thank you guys for hopping on the call like you always do every week.